Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Childish Gambino's This Is America and the broadest message, the largest message that the song actually carries. Okay. All right, so here's the timetable on Childish Gambino's This Is America song and the video. And I'm specifically talking about the official video, okay, which carries the music and carries the visuals for the music. And I think as a package, this is one of the, this is truly, I think, an historical song within hip-hop, within rap culture. There's a lot here, and you can see the progression, right? So on Saturday Night Live, Childish Gambino performs the song live. Then immediately the song video, the official song video, drops on YouTube and every other streaming channel under the sun, right? And then it goes public. People start listening to it. Then they start listening to it on a heavy rotation. And then the commentary started, right? So I've listened to no less than probably 24 different commentaries on what the song means. And actually, I think everybody is catching the surface stuff, right? So I think, so here's some messages the song clearly carries. But I don't think these are the broadest, I don't think these are the largest messages that the song carries, right? They're the ones that have been talked about in commentaries are the most obvious, the most surface. So one of them is, I think Childish Gambino is clearly talking about these striking, alarming events that happen in public schools and in churches across America where people are harmed, right? And actually even worse than harmed. And those, of course, are striking and alarming and sad. And I think the commentary that the video carries for them is very real, right? And I understand why it's there, right? So, but then also, the video is talking about events that happened in the southern part of America, and and there was reaction from it in the northern part of America, right after the Civil War and going all the way up through the 1930s. That is still an incredibly difficult part of our American heritage that we're still dealing with. On people who were brought here on ships, and worked on plantations in the South. All this is what he's saying there. Clearly, the song has commentary and is making statements on all of that. However, okay, I think that both of those have been covered pretty extensively in rap and in hip-hop, right? So, and I think Childish Gambino, like any other artist, had something to say on those things, and they're interesting, right? And I think that's an important part of the song, but I think there's a broader, larger message, right? A message that has, I think, even more impact. And the reason why is it speaks to the future, it speaks to humanity, and it speaks to a global issue that is coming. And I think so. And it is much more subtle in the song. The cues for it are more subtle in the song, but it's clearly there, right? All right, so let's talk about it. All right, he keeps saying, "This is America, this is America, this is America," right? Well, the things that we just talked about, those are America, absolutely. The dance is showing something that is a part of America. The device he's using on the guitarist and then the choir, that is part of America. That is America, right? But to me, what's actually most prominent in the video, the thing that's most prominent in the video is Childish Gambino himself. He's the center, right? But, all right, so, and he's the artist. And that just comes from traditional video structure, right? The music video structure, right? So if you look just one step beyond them, what's actually most prominent in the video? I think it's the cars. The cars are actually the broadest, clearest message that the song is carrying, right? And it's really about driverless cars. That's what This Is America is about, in my opinion, at a broader macro level. All right, it does carry those other messages. They're all there. The only reason why I think that the driverless car message is more impacting is because nobody's talking about this yet except Childish Gambino. All right, so let's get into it. Okay. So basically, the cars are all over. What are the cars? The cars are a few American cars, and then a ton, right? A ton of JDM style cars. Toyota Tercel, Toyota Corolla, Honda Accord, right? Late 70s, early 80s. This is all JDM, Japanese domestic market style cars, right? One of the most prominent scenes is where, and also, if you think I'm making too much of the cars, just listen to the lyrics of the song, right? There's one where he says, dance and shake the frame. And then there's a point in the car where, in the video, music video, where he literally jumps on a car, dances, and shakes the frame of the car, right? The cars are a really critical aspect of what's being carried by the song, This Is America, right? And I really do think this is America. Driverless cars are a huge issue for America. We need to get it right, and what we create here is going to be iterated. Now let's talk about innovation and iteration, right? So basically, innovation and iteration, one of the reasons why I talk about it so much is it is such a crucial part of life to understand if you are innovating or if you are iterating. America innovates, the rest of the world iterates, right? And you can see that directly in the music video, okay? So Childish Gambino, there's this really amazingly beautiful scene in This Is America, the music video, where essentially it starts with Cadillacs and Lincolns, and then it way back, right? And then the camera comes forward, and we see all these gorgeous JDM style cars, right? So it goes from big American steel, right, to smaller, practical, cheaper, better created, right, Japanese JDM cars, which were brought over here into America as grocery getters, right? So these are grocery getter cars, the kind of car you don't drive to a car meet, the kind of car you drive to get a bag of groceries, right? So that's the style of the JDM cars we're looking at, right? And it's brilliant. What he's saying is brilliant. He's saying, hey, here's America. We do it big. We do it first, right? We do it strong, right? Then the rest of the world is going to iterate on what we do, and they're going to make it smaller, more practical, and better, right? And that's absolutely true, okay? But then it's very, very specific, and that's another thing is I think Childish Gambino is incredibly intelligent, but more important than that, right? Intelligence is not enough. You need to be self-aware, and Childish Gambino is incredibly self-aware, which means everything in this video is intentional, right? Is intentional. And so basically we have the scene. You see, Cadillacs and Lincolns. Then you see Toyotas and Hondas, right? Showing us the progression of the automobile, right? There's also parts where he said, I'm going to go get the bag. I'm going to go get the pad. I'm going to go, right? It's in there. It's like he's pointing to the cars. He's pointing to the cars, right? So basically, the video pulls from the Cadillac and the Lincoln, right? Comes forward to the Toyotas and the Hondas, and then it blacks, right? It blacks. It's coming toward it, and it blacks, and then it showed like the screen goes black, right? And then it shows Childish Gambino running full out, right? Full out running away, and then toward the camera, and it's all intentional, and it's all about driverless cars, right? So what Childish Gambino is showing here is that the progression started from the big, strong steel that we created, right, to the small, practical, better iterations, right? Innovation to iteration, right? Then there's going to be a period of black, and we're in that now. Nobody knows what's happening with driverless cars. Nobody knows the real status, right? And there's a blackout, in my opinion, on how these driverless cars are being not completely. Of course, our press is covering it, but I really feel that it's black box, right? Like, I don't know what philosophers, what ethicists, what theologists have been hired to determine exactly what the calculus for how a driverless car will determine who's harmed if there's an accident and who's not harmed. That's one of the deepest questions that has ever been asked in the history of humanity, and we are building code right now to decide, so that a machine can decide who will continue to be here among us and who will no longer be here among us, right? Okay? All right, so basically, you have the blackout, and basically Childish Gambino is showing us right now. Here's this black box, right? We don't really know what the code is, what the code for who remains here and who doesn't. When there's a question, you know, when a machine is given the question of who remains and who goes, right? Who remains with us and who does not remain with us here, right? On this material plane, right? That's a deep question, right? And I think so you see the black box, right? It's represented right in the video. Then you see him running away, right? And actually that is absolutely part of driverless car creation. Whereas I think we as America are sprinting ahead of the rest of the world. We're innovating. We're showing that we are going to create how driverless cars in America are done, right? We'll do it big. We'll do it first. We'll do it strong. That's American innovation, right? And then iteration will come from the rest of the world, right? Just like it always has, just like it's already been shown in the Childish Gambino video, right? And then here's the kicker, and this is why I think most of the impact is here. Then Childish Gambino is saying, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to build driverless cars, right? And that is with exertion and with trepidation. Right? So then he's running full out at the camera, right? And when he's running full out, he's covered in sweat, right? And that's always been part of what we do, right? We identify that in America, this is America. We identify something that's not being done. We do it at incredible acceleration, with incredible energy, with incredible focus, right? We get it done, and we move it forward, and that's what you're seeing in the video. He's moving forward with all of his energy, with all of his exertion, right? He's covered in sweat, right? And then, but his face has trepidation, right? And the reason why is he's saying we will carry this forward with trepidation, and the reason why is we are teaching machines, right? The thing that he's prominently shown throughout the entire video, the thing that he jumps up at the highest point of the video, when he is the highest in the video, both literally and figuratively. Think about the word high, okay? When he is the highest in the video, right, you are seeing him on a vehicle, on a car, right? And guess what? There's no driver in the car. It's driverless cars, right? The video is about driverless cars, right? That's the broadest, the largest, most impacting message in the video, right? And it's the one that's the most unique. It's the one that hip hop and rap have really not. We haven't popped the cap on that yet, right? We have not opened the lid on that discussion about driverless cars in rap and in hip hop. Whereas the other messages that I talked about earlier in the video, those have been addressed in rap and hip hop extensively, right? But and I think Childish Gambino had important things to say about those things, but they weren't unique statements, right? Whereas this is a truly unique statement, and that's Childish Gambino. If Childish Gambino is anything, he is unique, right? And so, by the way, I'm a huge fan. I think he's absolutely brilliant. And so and I agree with him. I agree with him on what he's saying about driverless cars, right? And he's saying with the trepidation part that we will move forward with trepidation because we are teaching machines to choose who remains here and who does not remain here, right? Because once you put these cars on the road, there are going to be people, and those cars are going to have to make choices about who remains and who does not remain here on this material plane. So I think the broadest, the largest, most impacting message, not the only message, within This Is America is that America will innovate on driverless cars, that we will use all of our energy to build this strong, great, awesome thing. Other countries will iterate after we're done, right? And that we will exert ourselves to do this, and that there will rightfully be trepidation as we proceed with this globally impacting activity. It's actually incredibly, we have to move forward very, very carefully, right? But we can't do it slowly. We're going to do it very, very quickly, just like is shown in the video with the energy that he is showing, with how he is moving. So I think the broadest, the largest, the most impacting message of This Is America is how America is now again defining the future of the globe by a thing that will impact culture at its base level, right? Because, I mean, really think about it. What has really changed American culture more than cars? It's hard to even think. I don't think there's very many things that have changed American culture more than cars. So that is what I believe is the broadest, largest, most impacting message within This Is America. That America will innovate driverless cars, that we will exert ourselves to create them, and that we will do this with trepidation. Take care.